Okay. So we're currently live. Greetings, everyone. This is Kenya
Mhm.
Malinke Mansaray, and I'm here with a guest host. Sister Lola cannot join us today, so we're joined by our member, Sister Cheryl Ruth. She was on last week. So say hi to the audience, say hi to our family.
Hi, audience. Hi, family.
So we have another special guest, a member of ours. She's a very dynamic sister. I'm not gonna go too much into her background. I'm gonna let her introduce herself briefly, and then we'll just go more into the conversation. So today we have Sister Dr. Kianda Grant-Taylor. She serves on our development committee, and she's going to be telling you a bit more about herself. So, with no further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring her on.
All right.
Hello. How are you guys?
Good. How are
Good.
you?
Good. Can't complain. Can't complain at all.
Awesome.
Oh my!
Awesome.
You got your whole set up back there. I'm trying
Yeah,
to be like,
y'all see my it's my wallpaper.
oh,
I got my wallpaper like that.
oh, that's
Nice.
nice. I
Nice.
like it.
Thank you. Thank you.
I got my plain
So,
black screen.
Hey, it looks good.
So, can you go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience?
Oh, okay. My name is Keonda Grant-Taylor. I am a native of St. Helena Island, South Carolina, born and raised. My background is finance and actually finance and music and economics. Weird
Wow.
combination, huh? Weird
Right.
combination. Um, I am a wife. I am a mother of four.
Wow.
I love nature. I love people. I love uplifting people. I love seeing people have a goal and reaching them. I love seeing the underdog make it. You know, I
Yes.
like being a part of that type of movement. I'm one of those people that I lead by. I want to say example, but I'm one of those people that I'm obedient. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you know, if I see there's a need and I hear it, I just go do it. Sometimes it doesn't make sense, but I just go do it. So that's something about me. I'm just very open. I like to help. I like to serve, and I like to uplift. Yeah.
Yes, Ashay. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go ahead and allow Sister Cheryl. She first. Well, for those of you who are new, myself and Sister Cheryl, who is our guest host, we're gonna alternate in our questioning. So she's gonna cover the first half, and then I'll cover the second half.
Okay, no problem.
Mhm. Okay. First of all, I'd like to say you sound just like my cousin as I was hearing you talk.
Really?
So
I might be your
already,
cousin.
uh, you 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 might be. You might be. I have to check it out. I have to check it
Check it
out.
Yeah.
out.
Okay. So my first question: what made you become a member of Ganona?
Okay. What made me become a member is I was actually in a state, a state of mind when it came to serving, when it came to entrepreneurship and 501c3s, giving my time. My background is in finance and it started off with financial planning, then it went into investment banking, and then it turned into a neurofinance type thing. Interesting, is different. But what I noticed was the reason why I wanted to join is because I noticed a trend. And in financial data science, we pay attention to trends, not only with just with money, trends in money, but trends in behavior. You know, and big thing with neurofinance is one of my backgrounds. Neurofinance is we pay attention to the thoughts that it's like a branch of neuroscience behind the decisions that we make concerning money, right? And you actually and the decisions are they put like little sensors, EKGs in your head, and you actually can track brain activity before you make decisions. So this
Mhm.
field studies why we make decisions that we made. So the reason why I got into it is because in my profession, what I noticed was I was one of the only people that looked like me in all of the firms that I was at. I was always the only black or the only woman, right? And after a while, you start seeing trends of sometimes microaggressions, little things they say here and there, or they may feel because you're a woman or because you're Like they assume you don't know as much as them. And, you know, they're nice about it, but I think they don't mean any harm, but they don't realize they say little things. And over the years, this builds up and it gets you angry. You don't know why. See, these are something called money traumas that we as Black women or Black men, we deal with it. We don't know why, you know? So my study, the reason why I wanted to join is I said, okay, I need something that I said, I wanted to be a part of something that is purposeful and something that is helping my people, because something that I have heard, guys, and what breaks my heart over the years is every year, one of these people come to me and say, Kianda, I want to thank you for helping us get $500,000. Or thank you for helping us get $1 million this year. Thank you so much for your service. And I haven't even made one for myself or my people. So to me, that's a problem. Where did I go wrong? You know, where did I go wrong? Because you see the issue, but where was it in my thinking? How did I end up there? Right. And so I said to myself, I said, okay, that experience over the years had made me, I developed something where I was kind of tired of corporate America. I was kind of tired of the things that I saw in corporate America. And sometimes you feel powerless because some rules are just in place, you know? And so I said to myself, I wanted to join something that is a collective of people where I can focus on the way that we think, you know, and if I can get help, because I came across a quote that said, it says, you guys think you guys are rich? He said, let me tell you something. He said, 90%, he said, 70% of the people the kids that you have, like we just say of our generation, we have money. You say we work real hard with GNONA and we this thing becomes big and we help millions of, you know, a bunch of countries, you know, even Africa, Sierra Leone, we do so much stuff. So we do all this stuff, we put all the work in. Our kids, they said, according to statistics, 70% of what we learn, they might just, it might go out of their head. You know what I'm saying? They don't practice it. And then their children, 90% of it is gone. So the problem isn't that we can make money. The problem is financial literacy and keeping it. Because we know how to make the money. We just don't know the literacy or what's going on with our brains. Because something called financial trauma is a new version of, well, not can say new version. It's fairly new in the finance field, where we talk about financial stress, we talk about financial literacy, but sometimes we don't talk about financial trauma. And GNONA, we are part of what is it? Gullah Nation of North America, right? And when you sit and you think about all of the things that we have dealt with, we have money traumas that we don't even know about. I didn't know there was a such thing. So how can you build a community, or can you grow a community? Because you need money. You need money. You got to finance it. How can you grow a community? We have the greatest ideas. Nobody can come up with ideas like us, you know? But we don't necessarily have the financing.
Yeah.
And why is that? You know, what happened with our thinking neurologically that causes us to think we have these money blocks, right? The things that we say to ourselves, because how many times I can raise my hand and said, I heard money don't grow on trees. You got to work twice as hard to get what they got. You know, go ask, I don't got that kind of money. Go ask your uncle, or go ask this, or the bank, or we're afraid to open our bills, you know, because we don't know what the bill's going to be like, or we overspend or underspend, or sometimes we're afraid to check the bank thing. That is a symptom of something that started a long time ago.
Wow.
But no one taught us any better. No one even taught us. Now we know there's a such thing as financial literacy. We know that, okay, yeah, you got to do it, but no one taught us to go deep. And so I didn't want to, I see my problem here in St. Helena. I'm from St. Helena Island, but my volunteer, it's throughout Beaufort County. Sometimes it's Hilton Head, sometimes it's, and when I see the same thing that I saw when I was living in Atlanta, or the same thing I saw when I went down to Orlando, or when I go to Charleston, or, and you see the same thing, I said, no, that's a collective thing, because none of us know each other. But why are we behaving the same way? Mm-hmm. So when I saw that, I said, okay, Lord, too much is given, much is required. Okay, I understand that. All right, I see the problem. So what should I do with it? Because I'm amongst a lot of people that have skin tones that don't look like me. You know, they can go to their father and get this. I can't go to my father and get $50,000 just to start something, you know? Right. So what is the issue? So what I realized was, I said, I wanted something that I knew that could reach people, and it is necessarily be just United States. So I know as far as our background, you know, Gullah Geechee, there is a direct connection, you know, overseas. And what I loved about this, I've always wondered, you know, as a kid, sitting at the banks of the river, wondering, do they know about me? You know, do I have a grandmama that thinks about me? You know, and you lose yourself a sense of identity sometimes when you're working in business, because sometimes, you know, you don't see you. And I can't call great grandmama who started weaving the baskets or something, you know, that maybe wave over there in Sierra Leone that can tell me about how they did things in their marketplaces, you know, and it make me feel confident, like, hey, if great grandma did it, I can do it too. Until you get in those books and you start reading things that they did not tell you in high school, they did not tell you in college, and you ask yourself why. You have to go out and get further education, only to find out that there is a Gullah Leone. There is someone out there that cares about me. There's actually looking for people like us that want to. We were talented. We were born talented, and we have all of these skills, and we sit on them. Not sit on them, but we don't know to maximize them because they come so natural to us. We don't think anything of it.
Or we use them for other people.
Okay, yet other countries come over here, they see what we do, they get funding, and it just like that. And we sitting here like, that's another thing. Yeah. I saw that. I said, why? Because there are some times, you know, where some of the jobs that I had, they didn't know I was Black. They either thought I was, even though Dominicans are Black, you know, so they would either thought I was some type of Latino, or they thought I was from India, you know, especially if I had my hair straight that day, you know. So they didn't know who I was, what I was, what nationality was. And sometimes it got looser around the mouth. So what I would sit there and just listen. I just play like I, you know, and it taught me how some of them see us, no matter PhD, you know, masters, no, you know, you see what I'm saying? Yep. And I sat there and said, okay, well, what is something that I can do? What is something that I can give to the community? So I started volunteering a lot, right? And something that we have, you know, still something new that's in neuroscience. We have something called, and they said within our community, the African American community, we have something called validation addiction, where we, you know what I'm saying, that we're not, we don't know that we subconsciously, that we don't know we're doing it. If we had the house like them, we made it. If we had the car like them, we made it. Right. If we get this amount of likes, we've made it. We're successful. We're trained to look outside of ourselves to validate us, or we got to get the stuff to validate us. However, we had ancestors that could do things, you know what I'm saying? They taught us first. It's the inside first before you can be economically anything, right? So what I love about this whole platform is it's the willingness or the earning to take our talents, put it out there, make our own money, and recircle it in our own communities. That's my whole like mission for me. Like I want to give, you know, because I'm kind of tired of, you know, us, you know, just seeing we're $1 trillion people, $1 trillion people. But we take our money and make other people rich because we're trying to be validated by somebody who never intended to validate us. We have ancestors that are day one, loved us, have nurtured in us, and gave us talents that we can give to each other. And it can evolve throughout time if we're taught a certain way and put it in our own communities. But I can't be somebody that's speaking about it and not doing about it. So when I saw this, I said, I got to get a part. I have to be a part to see what it's about, because it was more the union part. I saw the Gullah, I saw the Leone, but the union part is what got me. So I knew if I was around people that looked like me, that experienced things like me, that I can even bring something out myself that I didn't even know was there. And I didn't know I needed to be around you guys. I didn't know I needed to hear it. I didn't know I wasn't alone, you know? And how many of us think that we're alone, or we're dealing with financial issues by ourselves, or we deal with financial stress, or we're afraid or embarrassed to talk about something that was never really, we weren't educated properly about it. So if we make mistakes, okay, it's okay, you know, but the shame around it, the guilt around it keeps us economically, you know, on a scale that we shouldn't be, you know.
Yeah.
So that's somewhere I would love, that's what I love to give.
Wow. So that's a lot. Wow.
Yes.
Everything you said. And we're so glad that you're a part of us. I'll just say
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You covered so much with your answer there. It covered a lot of bases, and I think wow. I don't know how they say from the rooter to the tiller. That's what it was.
I heard that one a long time.
Okay. Second question. Are you Gullah Geechee? And how do you know? And what does that mean to you?
Okay. I am certified Gullah Geechee, you know, and what it means to me is I was lucky enough to be raised on St. Helena Island at a time where my grandfather, he graduated from one of the first Black schools, you know, in South Carolina, you know, in the United States, Penn Center. You know, it started on the plantation I grew up on, Oaks Plantation. And then eventually it started getting too big. So they moved it down further down to on the island to Martin Luther King Drive. And that's there. And it's educated slaves throughout the years where it's big on agriculture. And so I grew up watching, you know, families, because it was I like the setup, because the setup reminds me, you know, when you hear about Africa, when I was little, they would grow up and it was like, you know, the tribes are here. This tribe is here. This tribe is here. This tribe is here. Same thing on the island. You know, when they say, where's Grant Hill? Grant Hill is a bunch of grants. You know, go to Grant Hill because all of us are in that one area. Where are the Washingtons? The Washingtons over there. And what I love about the islands, you know, what I love about even these sea islands, I can see somebody and I'm like, who are your people? Oh, which ones? The one from this island or that island? We know how to identify. And that's a culture. When I spoke to people, you know, even Nigeria or Mali or, you know, other countries, it's like they did a similar thing. It's like, what's your last name? You know, and they can tell what geographic area you are based off of your last name. I was like, oh, similarly here, you know? And so I looked and they would tell us stories. You know, we were lucky enough for the elders to instill respect and also tell us where we were coming from, where we came from. You know, we love the dances. You know, we love reading the books and the storytelling. Like I used to be a part of a group called Hallelujah Singers. We would go around, we would do storytelling, and especially on the Fusky Island, you know. And so the tourists will come and we'll sing all the Negro spiritual songs we used to sing back in the day, and the stories and how we evolved. And what that gave me, you can't get away from it. The Gullah Geechee can't get away from you, because even moving to Atlanta for 20 years, it's like I went to Atlanta for 20 years, but it's like something I noticed. I said, you know what? The city is okay, but it's something about your roots at home. It's something about something being this normal in nature. It's something that speaks that I can't understand what's calling me. Like, what is that? Right? And when you get home, you realize, oh, that's something they did. It was already inherently in me. I was just acting out, not knowing until you do your own research, you know? Yeah. And it was like, well, why am I attracted to this spirituality? Or why am I attracted to the water? So why does this food feel like if I taste it, it's gonna do something, gonna heal me? Why am I attracted to it? Then you study it. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? It's like that was natural and I didn't even know. It was already in me. It was already in me. I couldn't run away from it if I wanted. And then you see how the churches were, you know, on the island, you know. My mom played piano for 8 churches on surrounding islands here in Beaufort County. And what was, you know, on hindsight, and you look back at it, because sometimes some may be Baptist, some may be Holiness, one may be African Methodist, one, you know, and I grew up thinking what I love about the culture is although they may have had God as a basis or spirit as the basis, they didn't stop. Okay, that's not working. Oh, go bring some of them leaves over here so we can put on this womb over here. You know, okay, you got to come drink this now. I know, yeah, we're praying this is the word, but hey, come do this and blah, blah, blah. You know, where did they get that from?
Wow.
Okay. So we can try and be colonized all we want, but something still pops up, you know, to remind us, hey, we ancestors, we still in here. We still in here. And so being around the churches and what around this area here, what's so great is all of the churches has like these markers and they tell you the history behind them, you know, so you can't get away from it. It's like in your face. And then on top of that, the dialect, you can't get away from it, you know. So the Gullah Geechee, the food of it all, you know, when I think about, I was like, why I like rice so much? I didn't know. I got to have it. It don't matter where I go, I got to have the rice. Meeting someone from Sierra Leone, they talk about, I said, what y'all know about rice? What y'all know about rice? You know, and we talk about indigo, they talk about indigo. And then we might say something was over there, and then they say something was over there. Where you from? Where you from? And find out we're the same people, you know? And so you understand, because you cannot, some of these words or some of the baskets. Why is it when my aunt made the basket, someone from West Africa was like, hey, what country did you get that from? I said, Beaufort, South Carolina. No, because the pattern, this is Mende, or pattern, this is Fulani. The pattern is, I was like, oh, I didn't know. We just,
wow.
And so what that taught me is, it didn't leave. We just were unaware. So that's where my part is. It's like, okay, bring the awareness back. So if Spirit allowed me to connect with you people, you know what I'm saying? Yes. And it's like, we all are one. I got to do the connection. I got to run my mouth. I got to tell somebody, like, we are not alone. They want to work with us. They want to bring out the best of us. We don't have to go outside somebody to tell us who we are and what we can and cannot do, and we can get validation from home. Absolutely. You know, I feel like I should be able to call Sister Kenya, be like, sis, I'm going through. I know I'm feeling strong. I was strong yesterday, but today it got to me. Everybody should feel. And something that even in this community, have you ever noticed, even in the communities, well, I'm gonna have to plug this up in a minute. I don't know why my things went there. In the communities, mental health is very, very important to me when it comes to us.
Right.
Mental health is very important to me, because everybody needs somebody they can fuck up in front of. They can just mess up and just, you know, and somebody say, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We get past it together without saying, you should have did this. You should have did this. You should have did this. You should have known better. You should have known this and this. No, we already get beat up enough. Okay. We already get beat up enough when it comes to being sisters, brothers. Watch, y'all have to follow me while I carry that. I have to plug it up. But we get beat up enough in this world. Okay. And something I would love to do is bring awareness of some things that other cultures, you know, they're laughing. They're laughing, and it's fine. They can laugh, but just we can't keep proving them right. You can't keep proving them right. And this, you know, this whole situation where Gullah Leone, it's an opportunity, I feel, to like build something from. We can all build something from ground up. It's not even. It don't even stop with us. You know, if we keep this thing going and we started correctly, we started right with the right spirit, the right attitude. Our kids pick this up.
Yes.
Gosh, you know, and we've done our part. We've done our part. And so I know that I'm a part of Gullah Geechee because it's all in my soul. Sometimes I'm not even seeking to know things, and it pops up in the atmosphere for me, you know. So I'm so thankful for the ancestors. I'm so thankful for the spirits for not forgetting about me, you know, and finding ways for me and even allowing me to meet you ladies.
Ashe.
Absolutely. Wow. Well, the one thing that stuck out for me, which you said about being drawn or attracted to certain things, I've moved to a lot of places in my adult life, but I always found myself near the water. Always. Whatever state I moved to, always found myself near the water. And I didn't realize it until maybe about 5 years ago. And I thought, what is it about you in the water? I didn't know what it was. And what you said just clicked with me, just to make you aware. you made something go off in here. That was interesting.
Aw, thanks, sis. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely,
That's awesome.
absolutely. You're giving a lot of insight here. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you want me to ask the next question, or am
Yeah, what's
I?
the next question?
Let's see.
Get
What does
myself situated.
Oh, sure. What does the Gullah Geechee Sierra Leonean connection mean to you?
Oh gosh. What it means is I get to define myself, redefine my own self this time. Because
Wow.
United States, nothing gets to the United States. Sometimes the United States has a tendency to tell you who you are, right?
Yes.
They don't ask you nothing. They tell you, and then they don't get to give you these options that you got to check off. Either this, or this. I don't get to tell you who I am. You know what I'm saying? It's like you tell me who I am, right? And if I don't know who I am, I got to fit myself into this box.
Black
for
Negro
you to
coming.
categorize me and tell me who I am and put me in the categories to tell me how you categorize me, you think my income level should always be this way, or you think my the way where I live should be right here, because I checked this box. It's like, so being a part of this, it gives me it allows, I guess, to define Gullah Geechee. It defines Gullah Geechee and what we are and what we can do. And we're not asking permission from anybody. We're telling people we're union. Just like brother said the other day. We have all these ideas and we got to get the money. We got to go out and get it. You got to go out and do it and be that example. Accountability. And that's that thing. And I feel like this is a chance where I guess it's so much time. It's a feeling that it seems like there's so much mess going on, especially in COVID. COVID brought out so much. And the mindsets and the mentalities of some people, it was one of those things I was like, okay, we got to get on it. Some people crazy. Some people crazy. Some people crazy when it comes to money. Look what's going over there in Ukraine. Ukraine and all. It's just like all of that is going on over some power, and it's like, okay, that's it. Okay, nothing against, all that, but look at our power, our power, and money talks. I didn't realize till 2020 taught me what we could do as, Ganona. It kind of taught me that, so you mean to tell me you can make this government move by just saying no, or your money power? So you mean to tell me trillions of dollars, we're $1 trillion people, and we all got together and said no, and said we're going to take our dollars somewhere else, they'll be hurting. Please come back. Please come back. That's where the power at. They not worried about us because we know we're going to go back and we're going to buy their stuff just to be validated from them. They got us figured out, because in my profession, we have to predict a lot. And not only we don't use just like regular predictions sometimes, but sometimes we might use 5 years, but we go deeper. We use regression analysis, statistic regression analysis we put a lot of variables in something. We actually do it mathematically that can predict what our class of people do. And they'll, based on what they predict, they will market that to our people and define us off of that, and define us off of that. But here we are, we just want to spend our money somewhere. But something that gets me, a big thing that I would like to, to do, what brought me, the connection with Ganona is investments. We know how to spend, boy. We can spend. But investing, boy. See, and something that, I'm lucky enough, I know how to trade. I can trade Forex and options, and and that's the thing that kind of got me out of the thing, because you can make a salary, but no one told me you can really make 6 figures. But no one told me that I had to plan for inflation. None of us were told to plan for inflation. If you make $40,000 a year and stuff started going up and get more expensive, you really don't have $40,000 a year.
No.
They tell us that, and we go and brag, boy. Our skin, but we like to tell people, boy, we made this, we make this. No, we
you
don't.
have to spend more.
Right. It's what is not what we make, it's what we bring home, and what and what we can pass on to our generation, that legacy building. If we don't have that, we are not rich. We are not balling.
Absolutely.
We are not doing that. We're not at all. And we live in this illusion that like money really grows on trees, but we really have to really educate ourselves about it in economics and really put our stuff together and realize that, hey, it comes a time where even with Ganona, I know we're not going to just blow up like, I did like $1 million overnight. We could. We could, or $1 billion overnight. No, we could. I was like, but at the same time, I know that we have, what's more important to me is we have the drive. We have the drive, and we can go get it, and we can work off of each other, and not stop to get it, start, because as long as we know, like they always say in neuroscience, metaphysics, or anything, everything starts with one thing. One thing, one little energy, and then when you make a little more move, and make the little neuron shakes, the cell gets bigger, and then it multiplies and multiplies, get bigger and bigger and bigger. But it starts with that one energy, that one force. It's a bunch of us. We're a bunch of forces together, and we can move that thing, and we actually have the power based off of how we think, and where we place our resources. So that's something I would love to eventually get into.
Wow, sis, you said something. I want to just say this because you brought up Russia, and you talked about our spending power. I remember a few years back that something came out and was saying, directly talked about Russia and Black spending power, right? So I just looked it up as you were talking, because as you were talking about it, it made me reflect back a few years ago. So Russia has a spending power. Now, this country is currently at war as we speak.
Right.
It has a GDP, an annual GDP of $1.4 trillion. Right?
Wow.
Black people in America, listen to this, y'all.
Come on now.
We have 1.6 trillion. We got the spending power of a whole country.
Yes.
Going to war right now, more than them.
So we got money.
We got money. Wait, we saying spending power, but who are we empowering is the thing.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I just want to put that in there because, you were into finance and directly tied to Black finances so that we can understand how to empower our community.
Black finance and Black capitalism. We got to have our own capital. Yes.
Right. So in order for us to understand what the power that we have and how we can really unify and collectively do something, I'm in Africa, so there's susus. Susus is a traditional economic boost.
Yes.
Everybody, if they can join the susu and they have the money, they will put it in there because as it comes back around, they get one big bulk that they can get with.
Yep.
Right.
And, we even other ethnic groups or races of people have a similar system that they use. You'll see them saying Korean people.
Yeah, I'm about to say the Koreans. Yes.
They're taking over the Black beauty supply.
Yeah.
And they say that they susus is 100 G's or more.
Yes. Yes. They start off. It's amazing how they do it. But you know what? Something that I wanted to bring up is something that really amazed me. One of the areas I'm in is in fintech, right? Financial technology. We know about finance, but fintech, we take stuff and we apply technology to it so it can kind of automate itself sometimes. Like blockchain and all that stuff. Now, South Africa has I don't know if it's still there, but something that really caught me, and what I would love for us to do. Whenever we get there, I want to bring it up eventually to St. Helena, when we get there. But they have something called proof of stake, STEAK, right?
Oh, stake.
Proof of stake, the STEAK, the one that we eat.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, so how they do it? They said, well, they realized that how you say livestock is very big there. It's like in cows, and sometimes the way they raise cows, they're not being raised well, or sometimes you think you made had a contract with another farmer that they was going to deliver these cows, and they didn't deliver the cows, which is messed up their business and whatever. So proof of stake, they got together and they did a livestock blockchain. And I was like, okay, so how's that going to work? So what they did was go around South Africa and other parts of Africa for to farmers who have shortage of cows, who have a hard time finding cows. And what she did was get together a group of people on the blockchain. What she did, she said, hey, I got a bunch of farmers, got them all together, say, hey, I'm gonna link you up with this farmer. I'm gonna link you up with this farmer. It's like a one-stop shop for farmers to bid on their cows, right? And say, hey, I'm going to create a contract. And once the contract is made, the calf is born, a digital coin is created. And when you open that digital coin, it has the owner's information, how much the cow is, and how what they were feeding the cow. You have to put all the stuff is written in the blockchain, so you keep track of how the cow was fed, and properly nourished and all that. So when it's time to either sell the cow, sometimes you can either sell the cow and get the money, or you can pay them to continue to raise the cow, so when the cow can have more children. And then their way, that was livestock investment. But the problem was trying to get peer-to-peer people to, I guess you needed a market. She needed a market. So it's not like people weren't willing to work, or they didn't have cows, or didn't have people that were willing to buy cows, didn't have a market or a blockchain or something to, for the agriculture. The same thing when it came to corn or any other type of, agriculture food. So I said to myself, we could do something similar here. I was like, and as the blockchain gets bigger, I said, because sometimes we give up because we're like, who's our audience? I don't have nobody, and, and it's like, okay, well, we can, as finance gets bigger, fintech and areas like that, I wouldn't mind introducing that to St. Helena. It's so much land. Everybody farms. I like growing up outside. If I was hungry, I know I can go get me a pear outside. I know this. It's nothing. And so it was different for me to go to Atlanta and nobody had like an orange tree. Like I didn't know it was different. It was different for me. So city life and low country life was different. So I had to adjust. But what I learned, in Atlanta is how they think, when it came to business. So I said, being there for 20 years and I come back home, I said, gosh, we do think differently. So how can I merge both of them? But it's kind of similarly bring what I learned back home, and also whatever it is, send it home to Sierra Leone. Exactly. Keep that circle going. So it's so many ways out there to make money or keep finance or investing, but we just didn't know. It's shocking me. I didn't even know all this was out here.
That proof of stake is really it's still in my head. That's pretty. First of all,
and it's another one that did. How over here we have what is it called? What's the name of the card? Like Cash App. We have the Cash App card. Yes. So someone took that I can't think of it. I'm talking about. Took that idea and did theirs in Sierra Leone because it was needed. The point is, it's needed, because they said the problem was, they said it was a cash problem in Africa where people were getting robbed, and it's like, and I don't forgot what city it was, but it may have still been Cape Town. I don't know. But whatever it was in Africa, they said we have a problem with thieves, that particular area. It was like, so what he did was so profound. He started a blockchain where he's like, I know it's possible that these people will get robbed, but they need to learn skills. So what he did was create a little school, and he taught people skills like life skills, but he didn't pay them in cash. He said, because they say, for example, he says, I own it was like not a cash checking place, but it was some place where you can get some money, but he's afraid to keep money on him because people know you got money. So they'll come and purposely rob you. So he he did something where he created a system where he can teach people how to take care of themselves, any business stuff, they need it, but they pay them on that particular card. Yeah. So when someone comes to them, they say, listen, all I got is $5 on here, but the rest of the stuff in this card, I can't use it. So when the whole community is doing it, the crime kind of went down because nobody had the money to go steal, but it took a process, but it actually worked. So that's where neurofinance comes in. Like, what were they thinking?
Get people to change their minds about how money is applied and used.
So it's like the neurofinance is coming back and changing communities, So
wow.
that's what I would like.
Wow.
Here. Mm-hmm.
That is very interesting.
It is. Yeah, that was cool how they did that. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you realize it or not, but you're an awesome teacher. Just on these few minutes.
Everybody tells me that, but I can't see it.
You know what? Matters of finance, people don't really care until it's like time to spend money or cash a check or something like that. If you owe somebody, you running from them. But it's like the way you break things down and you get excited about it, then you explain it. It's like anybody can understand it. Like, duh. Right. But you make it very simple to understand. So
thank you. Now you're gonna make me go back to teaching, girl. Because I was wondering. Thank you for that. I never noticed it.
Yeah, I'm noticing it right now. I mean, you have a gift for explaining things.
Okay. I accept that. I accept that, sis. Thank you.
I need you to accept that because I need you to teach me. That is awesome.
Maybe sis can do like a little, presentation or something for the community. Put something together, especially about financial literacy, because that's something all need.
Mm-hmm.
The
sure.
The regular everyday person needs it.
Sure.
They're the ones get robbed. The poorest people are the ones that spend the most. These bank drafting fees. That. Oh my God.
Yes. In banking, you know what they told us? I never forget. We were in a meeting, and this guy said, oh, don't worry about it. We got $35 million today for what? They said because 1 million people defaulted, and you have to pay $35 for that. When you default. So if 1 million people default and you have to pay like $35, they made $35 in one day.
Like So these mega banking institutions, because I have a background in banking. I worked in banking for, from like out of high school for about 10 years. So I understand the customer aspect on how they have to deal with their finances. And you'll see people that's on fixed incomes, something coming through their account that they wasn't expecting. They're not checking it. And next thing you know, they have $200 in overdraft fees.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And just like that, $35 a pop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
By the time you get a notice in the mail, you're already over $100.
Yes.
Exactly.
So, like I said, the financial literacy is very, very, very important.
Yes, because some of us don't know. We don't have to go through them. I prefer shadow banking and infinite banking. Because those are secondary ones, because sometimes they actually care a little bit more. You have to understand big banks. Go ahead.
What is shadow banking?
Okay. Shadow banking is something, you say, for example, you have major banks, right? You have Bank of America, you have Chase, you have TD, Ameritrade, all of those big banks. But primarily, you have prime and you have subprime, right?
Yeah.
And so there, when you look at the stock market, when you look, you say S&P 500 or Dow Jones, it's the top 30 or the top 500 companies in America that's making the most money, right? Giving America the most money. So in banking, they don't tell us how it's closely connected. They don't tell us how banking leads to corporations, and corporation leads back to banking, and then the corporations, and the government, and then the treasury bonds, and they all are friends, and then the treasury bank, and all of them work together. Interest rates, they kind of know what to manipulate because they know, Lord, we need some money in the economy now. So, I'm going to lower the interest rates a little bit just to because we're not meeting our quota, So they'll manipulate it. So what can I sell to this person who can is going to have the highest percentage rate. Them, their credit score is such and such. So let me go to them. You right? Let me go and they're gonna sell it to them. And they'll sell it to them. And they made their quick, money off of us that quarter, and they met their quota of us. And we have no idea that they did it, So it's amazing to me, how it works, that whole system. But when it comes to shadow banking, those big banks, they may look at it as, like, for example, car. You say for a car. You're going to the car and you're going to get a car. And they do the hard check, right, on your card. And so you ever see people that, Chase probably didn't approve you, Bank of America didn't approve you, but a small bank like Anderson Bank or Sherrill Bank approved you, or Kenya, Bank approved you. Like, who are those? Those are shadow banks. They are the people that the banks that don't want to deal with you, but kind of want to make a little bit of money off of you. That's the people they might they'll go to. They'll deal with the shadow bank. Let the shadow banks deal with you. They can't make no money off of you. Because when I was in investment banking, I got in trouble for helping up my people. What are you doing? They're B-list. B-list, but you want their A-list money though, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you make people feel like they're less than, but you want their money. That bothered me.
Right.
I couldn't go to work feeling right.
Right.
I couldn't sleep with that. Because they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, and it's okay. You got to understand this is business. Oh, I don't have to understand that there's also such thing called social responsibility when it comes to business.
Absolutely.
Okay? And I will not lose my soul to make you rich.
Make you,
I can't
exactly.
do it.
Exactly.
I can't do it. And so that's what shadow banking is, like, and for example, I would love to eventually be a shadow bank where I trade enough money, have it sitting in the bank, and I can give grants to people, or I give micro loans to people, eventually. And that'll qualify me as a shadow bank, because I'm not necessarily going to these big banks for money. I got my own to give out to people,
Got it.
And so that's the shadow. I'll be in the back where they're from.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. I noticed when I was in Ghana, there's a few micro lenders that I saw, because they're not. I don't see so many of the bigger banks. They're here and there, but micro lenders, and again Susu. So yeah.
So and Susu taught me. I experienced my first Susu in 2020 when the pandemic hit. Right,
okay.
and that taught me we got money and we got power.
Yeah,
if we're consistent, and if we understand, the system, because if we understand the system and why we're doing what we're doing, then it can work, because that's what all the creditors are doing. That's what revolving credit is.
absolutely.
Giving you back your own money to give you a score for them to approve to give you some more money so they can make money off of you.
Exactly.
It's amazing how capitalism has created this thing. It's amazing.
It's something else.
Kadar. I told my kids, I said, hey guys, I said, all I'm asking is one thing. I'm gonna be on I'm having speaking live. Just please don't be loud. They probably forgot. You hear them? Forgive my kids.
You're tired of being quiet.
Yeah. Kadar. No, I am still live. She said, tell everyone I'm sorry.
That's okay. That is okay. Well, if y'all just thought y'all was getting a live show tonight, y'all getting a whole financial education. So we thank you. We thank you. That's amazing. I wasn't expecting
y'all for having me, because listen, I sit here and talk to y'all all day. I just love our people. We're so brilliant. We're so brilliant. And sometimes we don't get validated enough when we give up,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when you came out the gate with neurofinance and money traumas, I was like,
money. Look up money wounds. We got money wounds. We didn't know we had.
And it makes sense, because you just don't know how to articulate it, but
we didn't know it was a thing.
There.
We didn't even know it was a thing.
I didn't know it was a thing. I didn't know it had a name.
Because it's ways to, like, if I am about to make a decision, if I'm just trying to make a decision, if I want to buy this loaf of bread or not, they can take something, like neurotransmitter things that they can connect to me, and they can see a flash in my brain before I make the decision. right? And then so that lets me know I'm aware that I need to make a decision. And what they'll see is, what they'll monitor is what decision she makes after that. And see, there's a whole group of people that don't look at us, that are studying us in that manner.
Yep.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah.
You know? And that's what neuroscience is. It's not many of us in it, you know. That's what neuroeconomics is. They study our brain and our behavior, and they think we're that way all along. But they don't stop to think, how did our brain get that way? Brains also have codes, generational stuff. That there's such thing. I know they say post-traumatic stress disorder, but there's certain things that's post-traumatic slave disorder. If my great grandmama never taught me about finance, and I can have a PhD all I want, there's some stuff I just don't know, like you, sir.
Exactly.
I have to do extra work.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. My people got to do extra work. You know, if there was a race, if we were all about to run a race right now, if I was in lane 4, and sir, if you're over on lane 5, and in my lane I have to jump over hurdles and you don't, don't complain and ask me why my people ain't where you are.
Right.
You don't have the same hurdles as I do. And then when the gun went off, you went first. You had something in my way for me to stay back for 400 or 500 years. And then when I moved it out the way, I started running. You got a problem with me doing that. So I had to jump over all these hurdles. So we don't have the same financial wounds as they do. Right. And we have to put salve on our own stuff. And sometimes it's come from the words that we speak to each other. We need to stop saying, oh, I don't want to date this man. This man is broke. Or this girl here. Oh, I got to be everything. You know, sometimes you got to watch what you say.
Absolutely.
Because these children are watching.
Absolutely.
And these young men are growing up thinking that they have to be a certain, I don't know, you know, certainly, it's good to have money, but actually have some respect when you have it. When you're talking, you know, when you're talking about it, you know, because money got feelings, money can have, you know.
Absolutely.
Be respectful. You know, you can't go around and call somebody out their names or ridicule somebody because they don't have as much money as you.
Right.
What are we doing here? When you know how we got here. More salt in the wound when we're trying to build something.
Yes.
And so it's getting to a point where it's like, even when I tell my kids, when it comes to music, my minor was music. I thought I was a music major. I thought I was going to end up just singing and playing piano and dancing everywhere, until I saw there was a problem in the music industry where there was a lot of entertainers that was making all this money, but couldn't keep it, you know, and everybody was going broke. And I was like, so I knew there was a problem there. That's what made me get into finance. You know, that's what made me get into finance, because I was tired of
into that. We're gonna save that for a little later down, because that's something I wanted to really ask you, especially seeing that you started out in one place and then you ended up in another place. But I wanted to make a comment on the post-traumatic slave syndrome. The first time outside of our ancestors who had a chance to be free, quote unquote, our relationship with money after our emancipation was predatory. Everything about it was predatory. We were everything end of the stick. We were always psychological. And what does that do to people's psychology, especially with money? So the psychology, the mental, you know, and I never heard the term the neurofinance is what you said.
Neurofinance and neuroeconomics. Yes. And
I've never heard those terms, but it makes absolutely it makes sense.
Yeah, because we're not dumb. We're not dumb. We have talents. We just don't know what's happening. Like, what's wrong with us? Like we know we're smart, but why everything we look around, we don't, something's wrong. What are we missing? Yeah. But we didn't know it was it was in the nerves. We didn't know.
Yes. Right.
We didn't know.
And the thing that really grabs me about that, the neuro part, they know that we tend to be emotional people. So that's how we
the 3 parts of the brain. We know sometimes we're stuck in, you know, there's 3 parts: the mammalian, the middle part is the limbic, and the front is the prefrontal cortex. Now the one at the bottom, right? The mammalian, that's the one when we get so scared, oh my God, we start stealing money, or we start we'll do something immoral to get money. You know what I'm saying? Because that mammalian place, like, oh, I gotta survive. That part of the brain is just like panic mode. But if we can't regulate that part, it can never go to the middle brain of the limbic, which is our emotions. We were never really properly taught how to handle our emotions, when it comes to money. We never really were. We can, how many of us, when our bank account is low, we feel low?
Yes, say that. Oh man.
That is a money wound.
Oh my gosh. Yep.
That's a money trauma.
Yeah.
That no one taught us that we had.
Right.
And we stay there. And then we get jealous of somebody that actually did it.
Right.
That too is a money wound. Right. Because that somewhere in your mind, you think, they not how did they say it? They said sometimes when you have those type of jealousy, there was like, it's really jealousy is just, they said, misdirected inspiration. You're really inspired by that person. Yeah, you're really inspired by that person, but you got to find something, kind of wrong to feel comfortable in that moment. But what if we teach people about that, that you are dealing with that financially, So that's why you might be in school and you be upset about the girls that may have the new Jordans or the car that she's driving, but you don't know what that person went through to get it. Oh, Lord.
If you wanted
no idea. And so these are things that our community needs, to be aware, but we don't know because we are not dumb and we ain't broke. Nothing about it is broken. Some stuff that we think is scarce ain't scarce. We just don't have the connection to go get it, or we don't know. And let me tell y'all something. I wanted to say this. Even with crowdfunding and grant writing. Let me tell you what this lady said. One part of my positions is like, say for example, we need some extra money. Either I might start the grant, or I might be the person at the end to read over the grant to make sure it's fine tuned. And the man that don't look like us said, it's not that we don't want to give the money. We want to see if you're going to put something up and then we'll match it. Right.
Yeah.
And I heard that, guys, I kid you not. If my husband was here, he'll be a witness. He just became the track coach at Hilton Head High School. That's predominantly white. All right. Hilton Head. Right. And all of the other schools, they're nice too. But what I noticed about Hilton Head, he said this. He said, a parent, not even a coach, this is how they think. The parent went over to him and said, hey, Buford has a new track. A Battery Creek has a new track. All this other stuff have a new track. We'll Hilton Head, all this money around here. Hey, I'm about to give you $4,000. I'm gonna call my job in the morning and tell them to give you $4,000. You think you can do something with $8,000? All right, well, golly, all right then. And went on about his business. $8,000 ain't nothing. You see how they think?
Yes.
He was mad. Oh, I'm gonna put up $4,000 and I'm gonna go ahead and tell my job. So that lady was telling the truth. They'll match it. They don't want to see if you do it. They want to match it. They'll match it. They just want to see if you put something up. They want to see where your head is. But we're afraid to go do it. We see a grant is $100,000 and we're afraid to go apply for it. We'll stick with microloans now. But we're not noticing the pattern where we're thinking low.
Yes.
Right.
And when you attract low, don't get mad.
Right.
Yep.
Don't get mad, because what you think about grows, what you think about grows, and it can turn into something. Thoughts are things. That's another thing. Thoughts are things. You can watch a nerve called neurogenesis. When we first, for example, all of us are learning new things today. So what happened was neurogenesis. You had a new nerve cell that sparked up. And when you leave here, you might go research some stuff that adds to the nerve. Before you know it, you think in a different way. But what if we were taught to think like that in school?
Right. Say that. Come on. You preaching right now.
Boy.
What if we were taught, man, we would be somewhere else.
Absolutely.
It's the mind. It's the mindset. It's the mindset. So that's a big part that I want to give here. Guys.
Wow.
Well, I want to, you see Chief, he said, hey, Kianda needs her own show on Gullah House Media.
Chief, don't have me
blushing. Make it happen. Look at the way he got the name down pat everything.
Gullanomics, don't play.
I like it.
Man, we going
to do that. Let's make it happen.
That'll preach.
Okay.
Oh my
Right.
goodness.
Cheryl, you have another question?
I have one last question, but I feel like I know the answer to it already.
What is it?
So, what is your current passion or business, and how does it benefit Gullah Geechee people or Black people as a whole? I know the whole answer, but I'm gonna let you do it.
All right. My passion, of course, it is mindset. It is neuroeconomics. It is neurofinance. It is being aware of your money traumas, your money stressors, your money wounds, how it got there, why you are where you are, and you don't have to stay there. You know,
Yeah.
I just want you to understand yourself financially, mentally, financially, and emotionally, financially, so you can take yourself in your family somewhere else. My whole thing is building your legacy. Whatever that legacy is, you know, build it, you know, and we can learn to finance ourselves. We don't have to rush
Say
to,
that.
okay?
Right.
We don't have to beg them to feed us. You know, we don't
No.
have to, because what you say? Well, what would you say? How much we make? Trillion?
1.6 trillion.
Okay.
We bigger. We got more spending power than Russia has.
Come on now. We just don't have the mindset. Come on now.
Yep.
What if all of us had a certain mindset and a percentage, or even and all of us would at least even trading? Even what if we even got into trading? That's what a capital is. Because if we don't educate us about interest, that interest would eat us up. We have no control over interest.
Oh my gosh.
But we can learn trading strategies. We can learn trading strategies. All four of us can get on together. All three of us right now can do a trade party. Open up an account together, and we trade together. And you do it. That's just how it works. You know, and we build our legacy, and we teach our children, so our children teach their children. That's where it starts. Because what got me, guys, is being in undergrad, it was only four of us, four Black people. And this is how I know it's a difference growing up. Because my counterparts, they would say, you know, yeah, on the quarterly financial meeting for the family, we discussed blah, blah, blah. I'm looking at homegirl like, quarterly what? And they was like, yeah, we can just go to our trust funds and blah, blah, blah. And I'm saying to myself, CDs, and who are they trusting? Like, I didn't even know the lingo. But I knew to go to cash checking place. I knew that. I knew you put your stuff in savings. I knew that. But why nobody taught me about options? And you know, no one taught me that we can buy futures and, you know, futures contracts. And no one taught me that we can do Forex. You know, no one told me that this is fintech. You can track. No one told me that. You know, no one told me about pips and lots, and we can do all this stuff. No. And I'm sitting here, and these people know. They knew before they got to school. You know?
Wow.
They knew. And so you just feel so behind, you know, which is fine. All right. You know, but, you know, hey, you know, it's all right. I'm not trying to compete against them. I'm not on their time schedule. You know, when you know, I feel like when God gave me the call, they weren't on the conference call. You know, it wasn't for them. It's for us. This is our conference call. Let's do it.
Yes.
Right.
Wow, sis. You just touched on so many points that I'm just blown away, because a lot of times the thought that we have with money, or habits that we have, the lack of knowledge that we have, it just really shows in our state today.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes. Yeah.
That's why we need more people like you that has a passion like this, so that they can extend that to the community at large. I remember several areas at the bank. I worked in fraud department. I worked in loans. I worked in customer service. And so when I was working like in a call center, the customer service, so I just saw the relationship with money. I mean, man, between our people, our kids coming out of, coming out of
high school. And we offered the credit cards right then and there, because they told us when I first started, my first job was with, you remember, it used to be before it was Nations Bank. It was before it was Nations Bank. It was before it was Bank of America, it was Nations Bank, and then it was MBNA before that. But I was with the part that was MBNA, and my job was to target not high schoolers, first year college students, to try and convince them to get a credit card with their school name on it. But they didn't want me to market to 21 and 20-year-olds. I had to specifically market to the 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds. But I did not know why then, because I myself was probably 22 or something, and that's when they get them. That's when you get, and I didn't know anything was wrong until one of them mom picked up the phone and cussed me out. Why are you calling my son? I'm like, I'm just doing my job. Yep. So it just lets me know, so you used my degree to come. You know what I'm saying? Go come recruit for you.
Yeah, it's predators, and you don't even realize it. You think you're just doing
working.
the service because that 18-year-old is not gonna know what they're doing with that card, and then they're gonna
trouble I got in. I'm in college. I'm thinking, okay, I need some groceries. I don't want to bug my mom and daddy for no money. So let me get this credit card. And by the time you get to your core finance classes, you messed up. Now it takes you a whole 10 years to get out of something that you got in for 2 years.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
But I got, so imagine having a finance degree and your finances messed up because someone didn't teach you, as a freshman, what to do. And so many of us mess up in that way because we don't know how to do it or to say no, or there's a way to do it, but build it. But we have to learn how to be wise with it, and manage our impulses. And that's where neuroscience come in. You know where your impulses are. You say, nope.
Right.
Nope.
Right.
It helps you stay on your budget, your specific budget, not the budget that somebody else, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Wow, sis.
Y'all making my day.
Look. Kianda, ma'am, you have blown my wig totally back today. Oh my gosh.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I find myself after 40, like teaching myself all over again. It's like, 12 years of school for what? And then, some education outside of that. You have to relearn everything to really
come on now.
Understand how the world actually works and what you actually need to be doing, your place in it. So, I mean, conversations like this need to be had. I mean, because you brought a lot today. You brought the groceries to the table and set the table, cooked up the food.
Thank you very much.
Okay. I'm about to fall asleep.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
I wanted to this statement that Chief just posted again. He said, honestly, our people, all Black people around the world needs this information. In theory of Gullanomics merging cultural heritage, storytelling, video lecturing, linguistics, agriculture, entrepreneurship, and financial literacy.
Yes.
We are in a position as Ganona to lead the way. I say. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Yes. I agree.
I told wholeheartedly.
Yes, well, we gonna, when we get off this call, we're gonna have a powwow and kind
of course, no
get
problem.
some of this stuff together. But I wanted to go ahead and ask you about your background because not only, you're not only in finance, but you started someplace. So can you go ahead and just tell us what your background is? You mentioned music. Starting there, how did you end in finances?
It's always an interesting story, I grew up with a mom that, like I said, I come from finance. My mom's side of the family, everybody can either sing or they play piano or something. So Mama had us singing at 2. I also play flute, piccolo, and piano, right? So I thought that was my go-to to get away from anything that was bugging me or bothering me, go to that. But I had no idea that she's also Native American. I didn't know the flute did things, and then learning with Gullah Geechee that the Native Americans and the Africans got together, so, and they would speak like over here. Like I have like the one of the islands that my grandma lives on is called Wausau. We got Wausau, we got Dottal, we got Kusahatchee, we got Kalawasi, Tybee. We got all these names around here that named after Native Americans. So over here, what I like about the Gullah Geechee situation, I know that I'm African, but I also am Native American as well, you know, and you see the similarities in sometimes when how they relate to nature and how they see spirit, you know, a lot, you know, and what it taught me was it grounded me in a way that, okay, music ain't going nowhere, you know, and music is one of those things that it's an automatic brain changer. It's an automatic mood enhancer, right? So you can have the worst day and just put on a song and your mood is automatically change. It's that part of your brain, you know, you got a part that your brain, the amygdala back there, and it deals with short-term memory, and it deals with your, you know, like your feelings, if you're afraid of something or something, and it calms it down. It calms it down immediately. Even sounds, tones. You can play an A. Keep playing it over and over and over, and you'll wonder why you start changing. That vibration will change your vibration because you're 80% something water, you know. It vibrates something, you know. So that intrigued me, and I said, oh, I would love to study music, right? I love moving people. I love, and the words of the song is very important to me because it stays with you, you know. It stays with you, and it can help, you know. And I don't like to sing stuff that it ain't, you know, the words ain't gonna, you know, help. What's the point of me putting out there in the atmosphere over something that's already vibratory that can do something to your system, you know? So I got interested in that, and this is, don't laugh, y'all. But once I got as a music major, got there and I learned all this stuff. I was watching, I don't know, I think it was VH1. They had some type of thing back in the day. And Left Eye, you know, Left Eye from TLC. She said, here's how you can make such and such $1 million and be broke. And she broke that thing down, like on VH1, about, you know, who gets paid first, and the artist gets paid dead last.
Yes.
So I thought about how many singers and football players, entertainers, young of us, we have this big dream to make it to, you know, to make it to stardom. And then you get there and you realize the politics and the business and the accounting behind it, you are last. You know, you are last. So it was bigger than my talent, you know. Absolutely. And the more you got in there, I started reading more entertainment finance, and you start seeing other things that I thought people were being treated unfairly. And then it kind of rolled over into corporate business. You're like, oh gosh, it's not just the finance industry. And you look at real estate, and you go over there and, you know, and you start looking at other areas. Look at the tech industry. Look how what? So you start seeing the pattern. It's like, okay, it's bigger than what I thought. Okay, so I got into money, and I started, you know how you, they say, here's 7 steps to doing this, and you do the 7 steps and it don't work. And you do here's 12 steps and you do 12 steps and it don't work. So what is it? It was a consciousness that I was missing. You know, I can do the steps all I want, but if I don't have the consciousness and the faith behind it, it's not moving. You know, faith without works is dead. You know, so, you know, so it taught me, okay, you can always sing, you can always dance, but if you don't know where your money is going, you're lost. You know, you're lost. You're not going to do what you want to do. So it made me shift from music to kind of finance, you know, finance and accounting, really, because accounting tells the story. The accounting, you look at the transactions, you can see how the managers think, you know, right. And then you take their financial statements and you give it to somebody like me, and I can take the whatever's on the financial statements and I turn them into ratios. And then you show this percentage of this, and this percentage is this, you know, and then you turn them into regressions and you say, okay, so this is the behavior. It's changed the behavior, you know, based on these numbers. Numbers will tell you a story.
Everything.
It's amazing how numbers will tell you a story. And based on those, you know, based off that story, you kind of know, you watch the behavior, and then you kind of can manage the behavior, you know. And so I realized that was a bigger need in the community than anything else. So I love singing for funerals and weddings. You know, that gives me joy to give peace to somebody in a time of, you know, stuff like that. But my calling was bigger. And so I fought it, y'all. I did not want to do it. You know, I did not, because I always say these business people, they mean. All they want is money, money, money. I don't want to do that. I was like, and it wasn't even about, it's so big, it's much bigger than that. And listening to the call, I realized I could help in this area, because every area needs finance, and you need some type of finance, mentality. And
Absolutely.
our skin color is in so many different industries, sectors. So you could use this in no matter what sector you're in,
You're absolutely right.
So I realized the call was bigger, and that's why
Yeah.
I got into it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about how you grew up in a musical family and your love of music,
Mm-hmm.
the thing that comes to mind, and when I was thinking you were going to go in this trajectory, especially when you watch shows like Behind the Music.
Yes.
It's always a sad ending, and everybody lost their money and they're strung out, and now they're singing in like dollar bars or something like that.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I never understood why all those stories were so sad, and it's because they did not manage their money, or they allowed somebody else to mismanage.
Or they didn't realize the power of independent, that they could do independent, or go independent. But they, the intimidation of the big music companies, they have find a way to silence you, But what if we learn to trade and we can finance our own? Stuff, and see, but it's so different now. Back then we didn't have YouTube, we didn't have TikTok, we didn't have all that other stuff. But you can take that. You say, what if we taught a group of people, young people, right now? We taught them some stuff. They took these principles, these finance principles, and applied them right now.
Yes.
Now, so that's a part of fintech. Using technology to broaden financial awareness and make money from it. And if you reach 1,000, whatever it was, is like clicks or likes, they pay you, from the content.
Oh,
so it's so the opportunities are so much bigger now, and with those companies, it's like no one taught us about reading contracts. It's another aspect of business. Contract or negotiation. Sometimes we just, it sounds good. Look at that bottom number of that, look at how much money we about to get. But did you really get into it? Over how many years? Of course, of how many years? What's the terms? What's the interest rate?
Yeah.
Are you really not getting this much money back like as you think?
Absolutely.
Yes, do a NPV, a net present value. Yes, you say it's $5,000, but there's such thing called the time value of money, which it decreases every day. The dollar worth today is not going to be the same tomorrow. It's not. It's 30 minutes from now. It's not. That's just how it is.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so when you know that, that's why we have to do something called discounting, in finance, or we have to project. We got to use interest rate to project how it's going to, what this money is going to be worth in 5 years, or or somebody can say, hey, in 5 years, we want to pay you $500,000. So somebody like us would discount it back to today's. How much is it worth today? Yeah, it's probably worth $50,000 in 5 years, but based on the interest rate, really, it's really 30 today.
Absolutely.
So you're making me think that it's 30. Well, what if the interest rate changes and then I don't get that $50,000 that you say? But we'll plan off of that $50,000. Go buy a whole house and car and everything, banking on that $50,000. Not realizing it's 30 something.
Yes.
Right.
Like, well, why am I short on my bills?
Interest and inflation will steal your labor.
It eats it up. Yeah.
Yes. And you know what? Staying in a foreign country, you're always having to check how much the dollar is, the euro is.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that's when you really understand inflation and deflation.
Yes.
Because one day the dollar will be worth this amount, and next thing you know, it's plummeted. You like, it's worth this much, and everything is going up 30%.
But Sister
and
Kenya,
you're like, wait.
But knowing that little bit, you notice that I didn't tell you anything. You could trade Forex right now and make money because of that. The fact that you noticed.
That's true.
Right.
Foreign exchange. The fact that you noticed the dollar keep going up and down. But what if we showed you principles to bank on that arbitrage? To show you the challenge, like, hey, in 2 days, it's going to reach $1.17. You might want to get now, and buy a certain amount of pips.
Right.
Bank on that 17, and take that $1,000 out in 2 days because we knew to do that.
Right.
Right. Collectively. Not just me making 1,000, but you making 1,000, you making 1,000. And then we take that money and invest it somewhere else. Or put it towards the GNONA. You know what I'm saying? And do it again next
Right,
week and take a little bit of that money, pay ourselves or something, and take a certain part, a portion of it, and
Put it
invest it in
back
somewhere
in.
else. You know what I'm saying? Of course, keep money, you know, like brother said, you know, for other stuff, but we have an investment budget. What if we all did that?
Yes, exactly.
Our own, that's our own form of own fundraising.
Mhm.
We're
Yes.
using our own knowledge in-house. We ain't got to pay no bank. These are the type of things I'm talking about. Because they doing it.
Right.
They know how to keep
Say
that
that.
in-house.
They sure do.
Mhm.
I remember one sister was talking about to her boss, right? She was telling, this is around the pandemic 2020 when everyone were doing the like the susu systems or
Right.
whatever. And so she had went up to her boss and was like, "Hey, I just made $1,500, you know?" And so
Yeah.
she was trying to put him on. He was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I do that. You know, I do that with my friends, you know.
Yeah.
We do 50 G's." I said, "What?" She was
Yes.
like, what?
And that's how they keep it.
Yeah.
That's how they keep it. Excuse me. That's how they keep it. It's like, but that was normal. But you see how he said it was normal to him.
Mhm.
It was
It
normal
ran up.
to him. He was like,
we think we saying something new, girl. Let me tell you something. And he's like, oh, okay. Oh yeah, we noticed. And that's the part. I'm sitting here. We thinking
and
we
she
smart.
and he wasn't black. She was.
Yeah.
She was trying to
so.
put him on.
Yes. So yeah, we won't do it. We're gonna do it. I just don't believe we've come this far, and you know, and this is not gonna happen. You know.
So I'm gonna go ahead and go on with the second my second question, which is
Okay.
how do you help, or because you mentioned working with different organizations and things like that. So how has your skills, whether it be in music or in finance, how have you extending, or any other skill that you possess, how have you extended that to the community in different organizations?
Oh, okay. So one thing I have loved, ever since I was young, we volunteered. You know, I liked meeting new people, and they were I don't know. It seemed like they taught me something about myself that I didn't know that I was dealing with. Or, you know, so I started off like volunteering and stuff like Cool Girls, you know, something like girls stuff, and you know, seeing what was in their heads, and then, you know, and finding out that they had some of the same issues that I did as a child, and you helping them out that way. And then it got into when it's, as far as finance is concerned, I said I know I liked what I did, but I there were some people that I knew that just couldn't pay, right? So I said, oh, I know what I could do. I said, maybe I can volunteer my time like once a month or twice a quarter to help some, you know, volunteer the services, you know, like especially this time, tax time. Oh gosh, you know, something like this. Some people who don't have it, or they don't time, or they're sick. There's an older couple that, you know, runs the little mom and pop store, but you know, their husband's sick, you know, or they might have passed from COVID and they need help, you know, with filing taxes this year. That's where I come in at. You know, I might help. Or some kid that wants to go to college but think they can't because they think they don't qualify for financial aid. Oh my gosh, you know, so it's stuff like that where you pull them aside and say, come on, meet me at the library. You know, let me go help you out. He's filling stuff out for you, you know, and you show them ways that they can, money is out there, you know, or you can, or just go find a program, you know, that you can be a part of, you know, or you speak to somebody. Because I never forget, it was somebody that said, it was a white guy. Oh, Mark Twain. He said a person can live off a compliment for 2 weeks, right? You give somebody a compliment, you really could, you know, and you don't know what somebody is going through or dealing with. So I kind of, my services, what I do, I love to volunteer in areas where I might see the need. Like I say, this guy was at a funeral, and so they needed someone to sing a song, so I sung the song, and so he's asking, he's like, listen, you know, it was a new funeral home or whatever. He was like, would you mind just coming and helping out? We can't pay. I said, sir, this is one of those things where I respect that. You know what I'm saying? They have come, they have lived, they have done their thing. These are people, they have families that are grieving. It's an honor in a way to, if I can, you know, make their heart feel better, you know, even if in that small time, because this is something me and my mom did, you know, before she passed away. Ever since we were little, we sung for churches. You know, we would sing for funerals. You know, we sung for funerals a lot. And of course, she kept the money. You know what I'm saying? Because I was young, but she might give me some gas money here and stuff. But I noticed the impact it had on people, because they're already hurting, but sometimes they don't know the right song to hit them, hit them in the heart, let them know you okay. So I give back in that way. And on the finance side, I love to volunteer every once in a while. You need a little bookkeeping here and there, but you just behind or something, you can't afford to help. I might do that. If you need a little insight on this, finance or accounting or something, of course you give consulting, of some sort. I don't mind doing that. What else I do? Like I said, I love helping students get to the next level when it comes to school, finding money for school, financial aid. I love that. What else I do? I didn't know, I forgot to tell you guys. I don't know if you guys are aware of Airsland. You guys are aware of Airsland?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And so, I'm a part
Yes.
of the organization that's in Charleston. Right. And
Wow.
so that's one of those things that I noticed with Airsland here, because like, for example, my family may have 60 acres of land, but they fight, and one person may try to sell some forest, and the other person didn't sign off, and it's a big problem. But that's a money wound. That's the money trauma. Families fighting, and you're ruining families over money.
Yeah.
Or because you didn't know where to invest, or you didn't know who to speak to. So when I see situations like that in Airsland, I'm volunteering, but of course I would like to talk about neurofinance and finance when it comes to that, because God is not making any more land. He's not making no more land. This is all we got. He who has the most land wins in some people's eyes. But God has given us some land, but we don't know how to preserve it. Or, for example, it's a situation where it's a family that has a nice size of land, but they sold a little piece off to somebody that don't look like her, right? Just a little piece, and now they want to take over. It's the way they did it, and it's like the same street, even here, and it's beautiful on the islands, the sea islands. You see a lot of waterways, and let me tell you something about the mentality. Now, same street, guys. I'm not making this up. Same street, one house was $50,000, right? Water's behind it, $50,000 house. 2 doors down, $800,000. Same street, same beautiful water in the back. 2 different people. Why did that one person know to sell it for $800,000? The other one sold it for $50,000. He needs some money real quick. Didn't know the worth of it. You see what I'm saying? The legacy of the behind that land. So yes, I would love to go around, like she says. We're putting together so we can lead some seminars to speak on that. I would love to talk about our neuroscience behind even that. That too is a money wound, where families fight and sisters don't speak. Or your mama messed up your credit so bad you can't get something because they put something in your name a long time ago. She didn't know any better either. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we're all going through all this stuff, money stuff that we didn't know, and it's like, let's help each other out. Instead of beating each other up. We all are bleeding financially. We all bleeding. We all bleeding. Yeah. So that's what I like to do. I like to give back in areas that, because my husband's part of his thing is called Pay It Forward community outreach. His thing is mainly on athletics, where he trains children, like, and try to get them into D1 schools, or if you want to go to college. And so that's his main focus. But we also have something Pay It Forward outreach, where whatever someone needs something, we might do. Like, for example, if there's in the summertime, if we see that there's a bunch of kids around here running around, or they don't have anything to do, he might put something on the Facebook community page, say, hey, tell all the kids to meet us up front. We're gonna do aerobics day or something fun, so to keep their bodies moving, so them be aware of their bodies, during the summer, or just one Saturday or something. So that's how we give back to the community.
Wow,
that's beautiful.
Yes,
wow, sis. Well, we know that you're a wife and a mother, but one of my questions is, how do you balance it all? Your work life with your home life, with being a wife, just giving back to the community. A lot of times when people are just working their regular 9 to 5, they really don't have time to do all those other things. They burn out. So how do you manage your own
well, I'm one of those people.
productivity
I
within
am
the
a
community?
proud post-traumatic survivor. Okay.
Mm.
I have no shame in letting people know what had happened to me, because you get, some of us, I was one of those people that had money traumas, that I gotta make it, I gotta make it, I gotta make it straight A's, I gotta get this degree, I gotta do this, I gotta do it because I gotta take care of family. Not realizing that's anxiousness, you know,
Yes.
till you get so driven so much till one day I'm sitting at my computer screen, 30 minutes had passed and I had no idea. I was fried. I didn't know where I was. I couldn't, they was like, Kianda. They're touching me. I had worked myself so much that I had to sit out. When I said for a year, I had worked my body that much for companies that could not care less for my health, my mental health, or my physical health.
Yep.
That was a wake-up call.
Yep.
So that wake-up call taught me balance. That wake-up call taught me what to put in front. What is life stuff and what is my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you can feel energy that ain't even yours, you know, and you trying to fix something that ain't even yours. That's not even what God called you to fix.
Right.
You know?
Wow.
Trying to be Superwoman for everybody, you know. So I had to really realize what was my junk and what was other people's junk, and stuff that I could not change and what I could. And I had to redefine what motherhood was for me. I had to redefine what was parenting for me. I had to set boundaries, hard boundaries that some people, you know, probably didn't understand. But I had to set a safe space for me and my emotional health, because my children are watching. I can't build a legacy and don't take, I'm not alive to see it, you know, and so I had to really reevaluate my money traumas and any trauma. I had to go through childhood trauma therapy, to see if there was any things that I was repeating to put on my own children. Right. And so, and anything that, and that has really helped me. That has opened up my eyes, where there were things that I didn't, sometimes I didn't know the difference between, I'll say this. We have to learn, even as women, the difference between ambition and anxiety. Sometimes we think we're anxious. Oh, I'm just, girl, I gotta go get this money. I gotta get this money. Well, I'm ambitious. I want it. I gotta get this. I gotta get this. I gotta get this. But really, you anxious. You're scared of not having enough money because your family gonna say you failed, or that girl you dating saying that you a punk. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go sleep with this dude because he got money. Really, that's your motivation. It's not the fact that you're ambitious. You're anxious. You got to get it, and you want to be seen, be validated.
Wow.
Right.
You're not. You know what I'm saying? And so, that thing taught me some things. To really reevaluate, because I was looking at my children, and my daughter had told me. She said, "Mommy, I know you're here, but I miss you."
Oh. Wow.
You can work so much.
Deep.
You can work so much, but I know you're here. She was 3 at the time. So what that taught me as a woman in finance, because I didn't realize part of my money wound was, I'm a Black woman in finance. They don't take me seriously. I have to do this. I have to, all the things you tell yourself, Joe mentality, instead of, wait a minute. God knew I would be here. He knew I would be here. What am I worrying about?
That was your destiny. Yeah, you were destined to be there.
Yes. What is for me will not pass me by. What am I? I'm tripping.
Wow.
Whose timeline am I living my life by? I had to really evaluate that thing and say, no, I have 24 hours in a day. Let me divide that thing out. Okay, I'm gonna sleep for 8 hours. These 4 hours I'm doing this. This person over here gonna have to be mad. I know I was probably dealing with and being their crutch for 8 years, but I'm gonna have to tell them no. They're gonna be upset with me. They're gonna talk about me and say all this stuff. I had to put some boundaries in place because my children need me. My children need me. My husband needs me. And I had to realize where my value was first. And that's when I say, I learned, I said, I have to give back to my own. I'm so busy trying to be this role model for my daughters that I'm not even fulfilling the role, you know?
Wow.
Mm.
So that's when I said to myself, I said, no, is my cup half empty or half full? And I had to reevaluate some things, and I just set my boundaries, realized who loved me, who did not, started listening to the friends and how they speak about their own selves, and if they're going to uplift themselves, if they're going to, how they talk about other people, because how they talk about other people, how they talk about me, and you are like the 5 people that you hang around. You are, So I started reevaluating who I was around, and you're like, yeah, I might not have need that person. I probably was hanging around them because they family, and I just felt bad, and and then not realizing their energy was draining yours, and so I had to really reevaluate what I wanted, not what I thought people wanted from me, because when I realized something, I said, wow, my mom passed away at 63. I'm 43. You put some things in order.
Wow.
You put some things in order. Like, because as we grow up, the school will tell us what we're supposed to learn. Tell us what we can and cannot learn. They have a curriculum already planned out for us. And when we go to university, the same thing. We go to work, they got everything planned out for us. Everybody tell us what to do with our time. And I realized I never told myself what I was going to do with my time.
Yeah.
So I had to reevaluate that stuff and made boundaries for myself in what was valuable to me, and put that first. Not the culture, because our culture sometimes will make decisions for us and tell us what we not supposed to like and can't like. You know what I'm saying? And I had to redefine that for myself. And as long as I know that my heart is in the right place, I know that what is for me will not pass me by. And so that's what happened. I had to learn to put myself first and not feel conceited, because people are saying, families will tell you feeling being selfish,
Yeah.
You got to be a little selfish sometimes, you got to.
You do. It has to be a balance.
You lose yourself.
Yeah.
I almost lost myself. Lost myself.
Wow.
So it was a wake up call when my daughter she told me, she said, I know you're here, but I miss you. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's what
that
it
was
was.
deep.
Yeah.
That was, and she's definitely, we call our ancestors who have come back.
Yes.
Children can give you some lessons that you never.
Preach
I
on
mean,
it.
you can teach the world a lesson
Preach
that
on
a
it.
baby taught you.
Yes.
That's beautiful. Wow.
Yes. I hear her knocking on the door. You talking about me?
She said, "What you talking about?" Okay, she knows.
Yeah.
Baby girl,
Yes.
she know.
Yeah.
One of the you know what, Chief, he said from our last conversation, he said she tried to put the buckra to that 15K, and he called her bluff with 50K.
Yeah.
But let me correction, it was 1,500. She had did the small susu. I think she was like, she put like $150 and get back like 1,500. So she was trying to give him, trying to put him on to $1,500. And
Oh.
he said, I do that with my friends. We do 50.
50K. I'm like, oh, okay. Excuse
Yep.
me.
She had the baby susu.
But that was with
Yes.
that, baby susu, the baby.
Micro susu.
He said she was the baby micro susu. Oh my gosh, sis.
Yeah.
Girl, you about to have me rolling. Okay, so my last question to you is, what type of work or projects do you have planned to collaborate with GOU and Ganona?
Okay.
And what
things.
positions?
Okay. Go ahead. No, 2 things that I had in mind. Like one of them, I did want to see if there was some kind of space where I could, talk more about money wounds and financial trauma. Because what if we all, I'm pretty sure we all have some, so we all can figure out what ours are, so we can heal ourselves first so we can go out there and help other people,
Right.
And that was one thing I wanted to bring forth. But I also wanted to see, I don't know, something about the whole crowdfunding thing. I wanted to see how you could tap into crowdfunding and see. It's something about what this organization stands for, that I feel like I want to go out and ask communities, talk to communities about it, or talk to corporations about it, and see if they can sponsor, you know, stuff like that, because they need to know about us. We're here, you know.
Exactly.
We're here, you know. Those are two things I know that stood out. It's something in my spirit is calling me towards. It seems like we're going to end up with something towards agriculture, but I don't know what, you know. But I don't know what it is, but it's in my spirit. So I know it's coming, but I don't know when or the time. So I said I'll just be obedient when the time comes.
Yes, Ashe. One of the roles that she's going to be playing with us in particular is in the development, which involves finances. It involves so many different components. And we really need someone, especially with her expertise. A lot of people who are, you know, going into like different nonprofits and organizations, a lot of times they really just don't have, maybe they have the experience, but they don't have that scientific analysis. They haven't studied it as a discipline and been given degrees for it. Not saying that means, you know, that you're more fit, but it does say that you're, you know, you have a certain level of expertise.
Yeah.
That
and some people just need somebody to put it all together. Yeah.
Yes.
They have everything, but they just need somebody to put it all together, and that's it. You know?
Right, exactly. Yep, I agree. I agree with that. And so we're ready. You know, I'm gonna be in touch with you. I've been trying to get some things going on my end, and we're gonna be calling our development meeting soon. So I'm looking forward to that work. Also, for those of you who are in the audience, if you have anything you want to add or you would like to ask Sister Kianda a question, you're free. The floor is open. In the meantime, sis, tell people who want to follow you how they can reach you.
Oh, okay. Well, my Instagram is Kianda4, right? I just started something not like a couple of days ago. It's called Foxy FinTech, and I want to start putting some stuff about fintech in our, you know, some statistics, you know, that we're dealing with as, you know, as our tribe. But I'm at Kianda4. You probably see a lot of positive things that'll uplift you, but also a few some what can I say, some nuggets about self-love, self-care, finance, you know, black love, black capitalism, you know, you might see some stuff like that. And I'm also on Facebook as well. I think my name, I think I'm just KEONDA Grant-Taylor on there. And so those are two main ones that I'm using, but I want to get into TikTok some more and do some shorts, because I learned that
I am.
they got a couple of stuff they got on there, just little things about financial anxiety, you know, they're talking about it, and I was like, oh, I can do some shorts. So I'm gonna start doing that soon.
That's beautiful. Yeah, please add me. Put your TikTok out there once you do create it. You know, I got to get with the program. You know, I'm a little bit technically challenged, but you know, these kids. My 8-year-old niece has like 100 TikTok videos. I said, "Oh my God, she's consistent."
And they know how to do it. They
creative too. It. Oh my God. I think she's 9 or something now.
Yes, they get creative with it.
She's been on TikTok for 2 years. I said, oh my God. Right.
Yes.
Yes. So what says the root of education means to bring out.
Yes.
And true educators bring out the best and brightest of their students.
Okay. I'll accept it. My aunt had told me, she said, I just don't see why you're not a teacher. I said, listen, I like kids, but they don't sit down. You know, they don't sit there. You tell them stuff a million times. But when I meet them, they just love me. You know, so maybe I have my own financial block when it comes to them. Maybe I got a trauma I need to deal with.
Right. That's real. And
That's
sometimes you don't know you have an issue until you experience it, and then you get an aha moment. Oh my God!
Yeah,
this is directly related to this.
Related, because like the lady told me, like I didn't know I was dealing with something called financial. You know, I didn't know I had childhood trauma, so that could be related to my fear sometimes of teaching little children, but when it comes to adults, like I've taught at the University of Phoenix for 9 years, in finance,
Oh, wow.
and so I've taught there before, but it was easier to teach, university students because first of all, they paying, to be there, so they're not going to be playing around, and they want to graduate. The class that I was teaching, you had to go through me to graduate. So I didn't really have attitudes. But, sometimes when it comes to little children, I can't talk to them the way I want to talk to my, because I know how to tell my children, hey, come here. It's certain things that I can't tell other people's kids. So, but that's something I could get into, because how I probably can, who knows? Because my husband did mention, he's in a, what is it called? A childhood, what is it called? Kid, did y'all know there's a such thing as child life coaches? I didn't know there was such thing as children life coach.
I didn't know they needed life coaches.
Yeah, because I knew there was life coaching, but I didn't know there was specializations for child life coaching.
Wow.
So maybe that's could be
amazing.
A calling. Maybe. Yeah. So I wouldn't mind getting into that. Yes.
That's that's definitely because we need to teach the children. They need to start off young, so that they can have a better understanding than we had. That was one of the things I used to say when I was especially in the call center. I'm like, oh my God, I want to teach high school kids about this banking. Like, they have to understand they're just digging themselves in holes,
Yes. Yes.
So, Sister Cheryl, did you have anything you wanted to add or ask, Sister Kianda, before we conclude the show?
Oh, I want to apologize for dropping off. We just had dumb sore here in Pennsylvania. Can you imagine? Sound like
wow.
It sounded like a transformer blow, but it came back on. But I don't have any questions. I mean, every question that you were asked, you answered it and then some.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, she's a really good interviewer.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I mean, to have somebody in the field that you're in, it's a privilege to be able to talk to you. I didn't know you're so amazing.
Oh, thank you. I'm saying the same thing with you, ladies.
I learned
every week. I get to tune in and hear some good stuff.
I learned so much. Yeah, it's all good stuff, and I look forward to learning more too.
Thank you very much.
Gullah 101, here we come.
I know, right? Gullanomics. Oh man, I'm ready for that.
For sure.
Family. So this concludes this week. I know y'all are just really, really packed with information. Y'all ready to go do some Googles. Y'all ready to go ask Sister Kianda, and look out for on Gullah House Media, Gullanomics. Brought to you. Oh, you know what? It's one thing I did want to say. I just recently found an ancestor that was enslaved on Hilton Head, and her last name was Perry.
I was going to ask you, what's the last name?
Perry.
There's a few Perrys.
Yeah. So I was just like, oh my! So she was enslaved on Hilton Head in Beaufort County by a Thomas Perry, and ended up migrating to Arkansas.
Brother? Yeah, because it's two brothers Perrys that they had enslaved.
Okay.
And I was about to say, so which Perry is it? Yeah, Thomas Perry.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. See, I'm gonna have to hit you up because you might got some little information that I
don't have. I like to buy the slave records to read the names that's on there.
Okay.
Yeah. I like to watch them.
Wow. So I'm gonna get with you and find out more about the slave record.
Okay.
Dr. Felicia, she said another great show, Queen Sister. Thank you, sis. Thank you. We have to get you back on someday, or even have a show. We need some self-defense in the community. And
oh my gosh, that's my next thing. I want to learn it. Please teach us.
Okay. Okay, sis, you see her, right? So hopefully you listening, you'll do a program. So Gullah Leone said, these small children today can be trained up to run and rule the future we are creating in the moment. Say that. Man, I agree. That is the key to get the baby, so they won't have to go through the things that we went through.
Yes.
Exactly. Dr. Felicia, she said, yes, I'm going to get, oh my God, we're going to talk. So we got a lot of upcoming things that we have planned for you all. Again, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time out to have this conversation with us. Again, every time I talk to you, I learn something new. You know, I will ask you to sing a little something, but I ain't gonna do that.
What y'all want to hear me sing?
Anything, something.
Um,
So let's go ahead and take us out.
If I should stay, I'd only be in your way. So I'll go, but I know I'll think of you every step of the way, and I will always love you. I will always love you. You. Ganona, I love you. Mm-hmm. That's enough. That's all I can give today.
Oh my God, sis. You sang Whitney. You know how hard Whitney is to sing. Oh my God, you have a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. This is our first time having somebody serenade us on the Gullah Leone Show. So you have so many different talents. Gullah
Thank
Leone
you.
said beautiful. Get you self-defense 101. Okay, go ahead on Dr. Fee. So we're gonna have some stuff in store for you in the future surrounding self-defense, economics. So just look out for that. I'm gonna get with the sisters and we're gonna build as always. Dr. Fee said, sing. I know she has a beautiful voice. When she started, I said sing anything. She said Whitney. You already know. So again, sis, I just want to thank you again, and I just look forward to working with you more.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
everyone, my Gullah Geechee fambo, my Black fambo, please join us again next week. And thank you for joining us. We are out. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. You know, do your thing. Peace and love, sis.
All right, bye guys.
Bye.
Bye.